No one in the city dared keep the powerful billionaire Amelia Hart waiting. As the youngest female CEO to build a multi-billion-dollar automotive empire, she controlled factories across 3 continents, signed contracts worth hundreds of millions before breakfast, and intimidated seasoned executives with nothing more than a cold glance. Yet beneath the tailored suits and "Subscribe to my channel" magazine covers was a mother whose heart had been breaking for 5 long years. Her only daughter, 7-year-old Lily, had lost the ability to walk after a mysterious spinal illness. The world's best neurologists, surgeons, therapists, and miracle healers had all failed. Lily hadn't taken a single step since the accident. Amelia spent fortunes searching for hope, but every hospital delivered the same heartbreaking answer: she may never walk again. Eventually, even Lily stopped asking when she could run outside. She simply smiled for her mother's sake and quietly watched other children play through the mansion's enormous windows. Amelia's empire continued growing, but every new success felt meaningless because she could never buy the one thing she truly wanted: a healthy daughter. One rainy Saturday, Amelia decided to escape the endless meetings and drove Lily herself to a small countryside classic car exhibition, hoping the fresh air might lift her daughter's spirits. Security insisted on surrounding them, but Amelia ordered everyone to stay back. She wanted one normal afternoon. Across the exhibition grounds, among rows of polished vintage cars, stood a modest repair booth run by a single father named Daniel Brooks. Daniel was an ordinary mechanic whose rough hands carried scars from years of fixing engines rather than shaking wealthy investors' hands. After his wife passed away 3 years earlier, he had raised his 6-year-old son Noah alone while struggling to keep his tiny garage alive. Customers trusted Daniel because he repaired cars honestly instead of inventing expensive problems. His little booth attracted visitors not because of flashy decorations but because Daniel lovingly restored forgotten classic cars until they looked alive again. As Amelia pushed Lily's wheelchair past the booth, Lily suddenly became strangely quiet. Her eyes fixed on Daniel. Amelia noticed but assumed her daughter simply admired one of the restored cars. Then something impossible happened. Lily whispered softly, "Daddy." Amelia frowned in confusion. "Sweetheart." Lily ignored her. Tears suddenly filled the little girl's eyes as she stared at Daniel, who had his back turned while adjusting an old Mustang engine. Before Amelia could react, Lily placed both trembling hands on the wheelchair's armrests. The movement surprised everyone because Lily almost never tried standing anymore. Amelia rushed closer. "Lily, don't." But Lily wasn't listening. Slowly, painfully, her tiny legs pushed against the ground. The wheelchair rolled backward. For one terrifying second Amelia thought her daughter would collapse. Instead, Lily stood, wobbling, shaking, crying. Then, with unbelievable determination, she took one step. Another. Then another. Security guards froze. Visitors gasped. Amelia herself couldn't breathe. The child doctors had declared permanently paralyzed was walking. Then suddenly Lily broke into a run, clumsy, unstable, but unmistakably running, straight toward the stunned mechanic. Daniel heard footsteps and turned just in time to see a little girl crash into his arms, wrapping him in the tightest hug imaginable. "Daddy!" she sobbed. Daniel instinctively caught her before she fell. Every person nearby stood frozen in complete silence. Amelia could barely move as tears streamed uncontrollably down her face. Daniel looked completely confused. "Sweetheart, I think you've mistaken me for someone else." Lily only hugged him tighter. "I found you." Amelia reached them moments later, struggling to speak. I'm so sorry. My daughter, she's never walked, until now." Daniel stared at Amelia, then at the child clinging to him. "She walked." Amelia nodded while crying openly. "Doctors said she'd never stand again." Daniel gently knelt so he could look Lily in the eyes. "What's your name?" "Lily." "And why did you call me Daddy?" Lily blinked innocently. "Because I know you." Amelia apologized again and tried lifting Lily back into the wheelchair, but the little girl resisted. "No, I want him." Embarrassed, Amelia finally persuaded her daughter to leave after promising they could visit again. Before driving away, she glanced once more at Daniel. Something about his face felt strangely familiar, though she couldn't explain why. That evening Amelia reviewed every second recorded by her security team's cameras. There was no trick, no hidden therapy. Lily had simply stood up and walked toward an ordinary mechanic she had supposedly never met. Her personal physician watched the footage repeatedly in disbelief. "This makes absolutely no medical sense." Amelia agreed. Yet what disturbed her even more was Lily's certainty. Children imagined many things, but not like this. The next morning Amelia secretly returned to Daniel's garage without security. Daniel looked surprised to see the billionaire standing outside his tiny workshop wearing sunglasses and casual clothes. "I thought you might come," he admitted. Amelia smiled weakly. "My daughter hasn't stopped talking about you." Daniel invited her inside. The garage smelled of motor oil, coffee, and fresh paint. Noah sat nearby doing homework while handing tools to his father whenever asked. The warmth between father and son contrasted painfully with Amelia's lonely mansion. She explained Lily's medical history. Daniel listened carefully before quietly saying something unexpected. "Sometimes engines stop working not because they're broken, but because something inside refuses to connect. Maybe people aren't so different." Amelia almost laughed. "Every specialist in the world failed. You're telling me a mechanic has an answer?" Daniel shrugged modestly. "No, I'm saying miracles don't always ask permission from science." Before leaving, Amelia asked if Lily could occasionally visit the garage. Daniel agreed. Over the following weeks something extraordinary unfolded. Lily grew stronger every visit. She laughed more. She smiled more. She even started walking without assistance. Doctors measured impossible improvements but couldn't explain them. Yet what fascinated Amelia most wasn't Lily's recovery. It was Daniel himself. He never asked for money, favors, or publicity despite discovering exactly who Amelia was. When reporters eventually learned about Lily's miraculous progress and surrounded the garage, Daniel simply closed the shop early so Lily wouldn't feel overwhelmed. His kindness wasn't performed for cameras. It was simply who he was. Curious, Amelia quietly hired private investigators, not to expose him but to understand him. Days later the report arrived. Daniel Brooks had once studied mechanical engineering before leaving university after his pregnant wife became seriously ill. He sacrificed every dream to care for his family. After losing his wife, he never remarried despite countless hardships. He secretly repaired elderly neighbors' cars for free and donated anonymously to struggling families whenever business allowed. Amelia closed the file feeling unexpectedly emotional. Wealth had introduced her to countless powerful men, but never one whose character was this genuine. Then another discovery changed everything. One investigator hesitantly added, "There's something else. 28 years ago Daniel was adopted. No record exists of his biological parents." Amelia's heart skipped. She immediately remembered an old family secret buried by her late father. Decades earlier, during a charity project involving abandoned children, several adoption records had mysteriously disappeared after a hospital fire. Her father had always suspected corruption but never proved it. For reasons she couldn't explain, Amelia felt connected to Daniel's unknown past. Meanwhile Lily became inseparable from him and Noah. Every weekend she insisted on visiting Daddy Dan, as she now affectionately called him. Daniel gently corrected her each time, yet secretly he couldn't deny feeling protective toward the cheerful little girl who had unexpectedly entered his life. One afternoon while repairing an old pickup truck, Daniel noticed Lily drawing with crayons beside Noah. Curious, he glanced at the picture. His smile slowly disappeared. The drawing showed 4 people standing together beneath a bright sun: Lily, Noah, Amelia, and Daniel. Above them Lily had written in shaky handwriting, "My real family." Daniel looked toward Amelia, who had silently witnessed the same drawing from across the garage. Their eyes met. Neither spoke. Neither understood why fate had brought their worlds together. But for the first time in years, Amelia felt something stronger than hope. She felt destiny quietly repairing 2 broken families the same way Daniel patiently restored forgotten engines, one careful piece at a time. And neither of them realized that the greatest secret of Lily's miraculous recovery had yet to be revealed. It wasn't just that she had somehow found the only man who could make her walk again. It was that Daniel's forgotten past was deeply connected to Amelia's family in a way that would soon shake both their lives forever.